We lost.
Okay, we're live. There we go. So yeah, all right.
Yo, you crazy.
First thing off the bat, globalism.
Oh, we're talking about globalism.
Yeah, I feel it's something that's not really talked about often, so might as well spur something on. Globalism. Well, when you do hear about globalism, normally it's in that corner of the YouTube community where it's buried in the conspiracy theorists and whatnot, and the nut jobs, because they're like, "Oh, globalism's coming, the one world government, man," and they spill out all the fucking standard rhetoric that they've got, about concentration camps and purges and all the other bullshit they come up. So yeah, I want to talk about why globalism is a good fucking idea and how we can get to it, and
Yeah,
what form, and what
let's
form.
let's talk about this bullshit. Nah, just kidding. No, I'm all in it for it. I think that'll help out most of the continents that are struggling, which would be Africa and Asia. And I guess like a lot of people, they want to shit on South America and then Central America, which and I am in a half agreement with that because Cuba is one of the worst, Western countries, along with Haiti,
Right.
and that definitely needs capitalism. It needs a little bit of socialism, but it needs like a ton of capitalism. Like I think our views on capitalism needs to be um, increased, and government needs to be regulating the shit out of bigger businesses and try to monetize more small and medium-sized businesses to kind of, rebuild the working class.
Yeah, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying there.
I actually wanted to ask you, do you think lowering the minimum wage like is okay for people
No,
that are
no.
working?
What the fuck? No. Lowering the
Well,
minimum wage is not a good idea because inflation only
you know,
goes, well, only really goes one way.
well, look, nigga, look, like keep it real with me. But your boy looked up on the news, and I guess the governor of Missouri or whoever's running the leadership out there, that guy lowered the minimum wage from $10 to $7.70, and a few Trump supporters I was debating, they were telling me, "Oh, this is perfect. This is like basically what we need. That'll create more jobs by lowering minimum wage." And then I told them, "Oh, do you think having unskilled workers is like a good thing too?" And they were trying to go off on a ramp and tell me like, "Oh, well, if you increase minimum wage higher, you're gonna make everybody go poor, and it's gonna make businesses go out of business." And I'm like, "Huh?" Like, I just want your whole insight on that so I can get like the bigger picture.
What do you mean exactly? Sorry.
Do you think that when you increase minimum wage, more people will become poor because the businesses will keep losing money and
No.
people can't get? Yeah, that's basically what those fucking idiots were telling me. They were trying to spew out bullshit to say, hey, deal with it because at least you have a job. But you know what? Lowering the minimum wage is something that we need. And I'm
No,
like,
lowering the minimum wage doesn't help anyone. Now, what
yeah,
does now the reason is this is used as a talking point is because a lot of businesses focus on labor, so that means man or woman power, basically. Yeah, um,
yes,
menial,
yeah,
either it be menial or professional. That there's still the high level of the labor cost. And all business wants to lower its labor cost because that is the biggest cost to their business each year. Um,
yeah,
Take, for example, in Britain, we have a pub chain called Whitbread. Their biggest cost, I think it was, when I seen some numbers, it was estimated around 70% of their cost was just labor. Um, so yeah, they want to lower the cost of they want to lower minimum wage so they can pay their staff less, so they can have bigger profit margins or less outgoings rather. either way, rather. But no, I think what should be done is obviously minimum wage needs to keep up with inflation, first of all. Minimum wage does need to go up, not just here in Britain, but I think in America. But there needs to be it needs to be done in a sensible way, either over, like for example, in Britain the minimum wage is like £7.20 something for over 21s, I think. I'm not totally sure. But if you whack that up to £10 tomorrow, that would have a massive effect to big business, because a lot of people will have to put people out of business, not just big business, but medium businesses and small businesses alike. So you need to bring in a policy where you aim for £10 an hour, but you do it, say, over the space of 2 years in gradual stages, and you offer tax and you give tax breaks to companies that will be hardest hit, because you can look at data and do an assessment of company industries that are heavy on the labor cost, and then you can go, right, they'll be in well, actually you could just make it across the platform, actually, because you could use it as an incentive to employ people as well, so it also helps bring down unemployment.
Yeah, and then I really do think that it's really messed up that bigger companies would try to hire for cheap labor, because you know, if you're making enough money and then you just want to make up an excuse for not giving out money, then I think in my honest opinion, that is just pure, you know, that's just pure, like, you know, representation of just hiring poor unskilled workers that are just coming there for a paycheck, and they're not coming to actually work. Like, you know, that's why, you know, when I was having
No
the bigger
employer wants his employees standing around doing nothing. You know, the employer wants every second they can get out of the employee.
Yeah, which I understand, but I think due to the fact that if you're lowering minimum wage, you would just allow people that are unskilled workers to be in that position, because it's still money, so they'll do anything out of their own, you know, interests.
What do you define as unskilled labor? Because like unskilled labor in the 50s and the 60s was digging ditches and you know, doing road works and stuff like that. Uh, uh, you know, base level work isn't the same anymore. You know what I mean? Menial labor
Yeah,
isn't
like
the same.
I
Things
know
like
as a
working in McDonald's and shit is menial labor nowadays. They are the no qualifications required jobs, if you know what I mean.
yeah. You don't need to go to college for it, and it's just like the most easiest job known to man. I get that, but I think that due to a wow, like basically due to a financial standpoint, that is what holds back people if you lower minimum wage, because they're not gonna want to do a job that poor, and then, you know, you're gonna just be like, okay, well, you know, no, like I want to get paid more money, because that's what everybody wants to work for. They don't want to just work for, you know, just for like a few dollars and pennies. Like, they want to get paid for what they're worth. And I
Oh
think that
yeah. That's yeah, of
yeah,
course, and that's why lowering minimum wage would be a bad idea.
yeah. I was just gonna add in a really good point. You know, when people want to argue of like illegal immigrants working, really good fact. When Trump built Trump Tower, most of his workers that built Trump Tower were like illegals from Europe, and they weren't even put into any documentation of like what's that crime thing called, like workers fraud, right?
I don't know what you guys call it. I mean, if you're undocumented in this country, you get in shit, and the employer gets in shit big time. It's criminal.
Yeah, and I think that is why, you know, we want to complain about illegals coming right across at the border, but it's like, you know, most of our working class has like half of like illegals working in it. Like, you know, when I walk into like a restaurant, at least I would know that somebody inside the dish room is illegal. And then I wouldn't call it out because I don't have any interest of, you know, of really pointing that out. But I understand where people are coming in to say, oh, they're being given more services than actual citizens, and then they're just being given everything out of the, you know, tip top, best shape, first class, like, you know, first class like amenities that they can't get back in their country. So um, I understand that people want them gone, but I would like to think that there has to be a good solid number of them that actually want to become citizens, not just piggyback off of our services and
Mate,
try
the
to say,
thing is, right, when it comes to immigrants, my concern is I don't want them gone. I want them registered to pay
yeah,
tax, right?
here,
Because
yeah,
I
I
don't
want
look
to
at
pay tax.
immigration. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, there is problems with immigration, and obviously,
Yeah,
when it comes to certain
I would kick
groups.
out violent immigrants. No, if you're violent and you're like illegal, no, get the fuck out. That's why this one person that I had to talk with, she's from shit, I want to say she's from I probably want to say Fiji, yeah, somewhere around there. But she said, yeah, like if I ever had to think that of like a few hundred thousands of illegals from like Bangladesh or basically the more Muslim populated countries that had more issues, then she would be in favor of blocking up the border. And I said to her, yeah, because I think in my honest opinion, like I don't want people trying to tell me that I have to leave my home because, you know, the government's like allowing them to get more rights like than me, and that's just like, no, like I worked hard for what I did, so why can't they be registered into the system and pay taxes just like me?
Well, I
And
don't know. I don't know what rights immigrants have that you don't have, and I don't know what rights that they have over you that when they become documented. I don't think there is any rights that they would have over you. I mean, when it comes to an immigrant, when it comes to immigration, uh, countries like immigration because it's a huge revenue stream. Seriously,
no,
like
they would use them for money because, you know, you're bringing in these people from these poor ass countries, and you know, I'm not even trying to sound like a fucking, you know, Trump supporter on this, but you are giving them more of a opportunity in a college system where they can just be given a full ride scholarship into any program they desire. And then if they are, you know, good enough, you know, they'll try to grant them citizenship quicker than most people trying to come in here legally with their whole family. And I think that, you know, this is my whole thoughts on when Muslims started actually coming here to the
okay,
U.S.
well, hang on,
Um,
right? There's two points to immigration. Obviously, there is the point of normal immigration. Then there is the side of the problems of immigration, which, let's be honest, is Islam, right? But when we're talking about
of
normal
seeking into your
immigration,
country.
especially like in your country where it's more, you've got Mexicans coming across your southern border. Mexicans are not the fucking problem. Never have been,
They're not the
never will
problem.
be. Right?
They
The
were
thing
never
is if
to begin
you had if basically if the American border was basically like you walked, if obviously if you're a Mexican, this isn't, and you walked up to the American border should go right, stamp your passport. Here's a tax number. Go get a fucking job and start paying us fucking taxes. Because here's the facts, right? Um, Obviously now I am talking about normal immigration here. You know, this is standard law-abiding citizens and blah blah blah. Yeah, right. So
Yes.
when they come to your country as an adult or as a young middle-aged teen, late teen, right? You don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars educating them, bringing them up, and training them for the rest of their life. You have got a because for me, for you as a citizen of the United States government has probably poured into about $100,000 into your upbringing, right? In stuff that you've
Yeah.
used as a kid, right? Well, probably
Yeah.
not as much, but I'm not sure on numbers for the US. It's different for Britain because obviously we've got other factors that involve in this, right? So the government for both of our countries has spent 100,000 on bringing us up, right? On all the bits and pieces. Then we go off to work, and bearing in mind, the government still has, well, I don't know about your country. Well, yeah, I suppose, because you have social security and you have pensions. So the government again has to pay for you for when you reach retirement. So, and then you've got to pay your tax. So the amount of tax you've paid and what you've got out of it is probably worked out as, you know, probably equal balance. You know what I mean? It's fair. You've put in as much as you've had out most likely across your life on average. When it comes to immigrants, this is completely different, mate, because the high majority of immigrants, sorry, do not stay in the country that they're working in. So let's say they're here for 10 years. That is 10 years of 100% profit of tax, because they've not had anything as a child, anything as a teenager. You don't have to save up because they didn't need any social security, or if they did, they used a lot less than what they paid into the system. And also you don't have to provide them with retirement benefits.
Yeah.
And they're
Well,
gone. And
I was actually,
that's a constant revenue stream that should be tapped into properly. Obviously, when we start talking about, okay, who do we just let in across our borders, there's a whole different thing. Like, for example, I think the free movement of the European people is vital to the stability, to the financial income of my country. Like, it is a key thing. Now, when we talk about outside of Europe, we have other factors that we need to take into consideration before allowing free movement. Or if we do,
yes.
then they have to be. Then there has to be strong, and I mean really strong, integration policies and policies of you know, so people can adapt and whatnot to the new culture that they're living in.
Yeah, because like was kind of like a little bit blinded when I actually got deeper into immigration, of how many problems there are in the illegal immigrants, you know, portion when
Right,
people debate.
name me some of these problems. Let me hear them. I wanna know these problems. Let me test my arguments on these problems you know of.
I'm not conservative, just like you
Yeah,
know
I
in
know,
that
I know
area.
you're not, but
But
hit me with these things you've
I'll
heard.
hit you. I'll hit you with both liberal and conservative arguments. All right. So the first conservative argument is that they're taking our jobs and they are using our government services, and they're exploiting our homes as if like they're trying to get homes like illegally to stay in, right?
Hmm. Right. So if
Yeah.
I go back to my whole other what I said like just a minute ago on all of that really, because it, first of all, they're taking your jobs and they're living in illegal accommodation. And what was the other one? Sorry, there was a third point. What was it?
Oh, fuck, they're taking our jobs. Um. Oh yeah, they're being put on government
Oh
services like Social Security.
welfare.
Yeah.
Right. So from what I understand, a lot of the time when it comes to these welfare claimants, it's people who are not allowed to work in the country until they've been approved. Which,
Yeah.
if you basically said, right, people from this country, when you turn up at the border, here's your tax ID, they wouldn't be on socials. Well, they might end up, and it would probably be a small minority, but most of those
Yeah.
people would go out and get a job. So, oh, they're taking your jobs and they're taking houses illegally and occupying or whatever. Right. So if they've gone out and got a job, then the government is getting shit tons more tax money. So the government can invest into new infrastructure, which includes houses and housing developments and purchasing of land to develop on. And the other thing is, when you have a growing population, is it creates more jobs, because supply and demand, it's business 101. That is, if you supply and demand, if the demand is high and the
Yes.
supply is low, it's going to cost
Yeah.
more, obviously. But if you,
Yeah.
you know, balance it out, then you've got a perfect balance.
Yeah. And you have to make sure that it's 50-50, or else it's just gonna basically collapsed, right?
Yeah, you got to find the sweet spot for what it is, and obviously each thing is different.
Okay, so as far as the profits go, a lot of people say that we're paying taxes for these illegal immigrants to be here.
Well,
Or
that's the thing, because yeah, I mean, a lot of people do say that, especially I know I've heard that argument here in this country, because what we do, like, if you're from outside the European Union and you move here and you're an immigrant, there's a good chance that for the first 2 years you will be on the state's benefit, because you're not legally allowed to work here. Because you can come here, apply for citizenship, and then it could take 2 years, but they won't deport you, so you're entitled to stay here. But you can't work because you're not approved to work here. So what the government do is stick you on benefit, which is the wrong way about it. You need to be giving them work permits the moment they walk in the fucking door, and then that way they're not on benefit, not draining resources, and if they've got a job, they're paying tax, and if they're paying tax, that means there's more money for the government.
yeah, so that way they can be on way of becoming a citizen, so they're on record. At least they're doing something productive.
Exactly.
Then again, like, this is my whole big issue with the Muslim immigration. Now I got more deeper into it, but like I told
Okay,
you,
so you want to talk Muslim immigration, right? Okay, so my view is
kill them all.
no, that's fucking stupid.
Nah,
Right, so
conservative.
because obviously saying Muslim doesn't help the problem. So what we're talking about is countries of issue, and obviously they're all going to be third world countries, poor countries. Yeah, that, I mean, unless they're coming from Saudi Arabia and I don't know, Qatar and whatnot. Well, that if they're coming here, they're coming here to learn anyway, and they're spending money and they've got visas. Now, so when it comes to, so it's non-wealthy immigrants now, obviously, that we need to talk about. So, where are they coming from, first of all? Okay, so let's say someone comes from Somalia. Well, Somalia is a fucking shithole that is basically run by pirates. I don't even think that Somalia has a government anymore, or if it does, it's extremely ineffective. I know when I last looked into it, it was on the brink of collapse, and I think it had actually collapsed. But anyway, so so we've worked out where you're coming from. Who are you? And I don't mean, tell us your life story. Well, yeah, we do want to know your life story because we want to know what you've gone through, but mainly it comes down to gender on this one. Okay, so you're a woman. Yes, I'm going to say this: women fucking first, women and children first. Now, I know that probably sounds like a feminist argument, and they probably love me for this one, but I believe it should be always women and children first. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it's a boat sinking or a burning building. Women and children first.
Yo, you have too many beliefs.
Right, so then when it comes to children, you integrate them into a secular school, and then the other thing is you need to spread them around the country. Because the problem in this country is we pack them all together when it comes to immigrants. We just, in my opinion, it seems like we just pack them all together. There needs to be more dispersal of immigrants. For example, I personally think all the cities should be off limits from now on. I think there should be a halt on city, more immigration to cities, basically, because places like London, places like Manchester can't really cope, especially London. So we need to be looking at places like Wales, Cornwall, Scotland. Well, I mean, Scotland's pretty good, but again, they're in the cities. There needs to be more spreading out because we have too much of it being clustered. Like, for example, mate, if you came to Britain today, got off the plane at Bristol Airport, and I went to pick you up, we'd get off the plane and you'd be like, whoa, this is a pretty multicultural airport. Yeah, mate, you haven't seen shit yet. Straight on the bus. Bus would probably be multicultural to fuck anyway. We get off the bus in the city centre and everything is multicultural, right? Then tomorrow morning, after we've had some beers, we go up to Wales, we go on the bus, I will take you to white country and you will see what I mean. That's the problem that we have with our immigration is we have just dumped them all in together. We need to spread it to I think multiculturalism can work if done properly.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't care because I don't care what your culture is. It's just like the personality and lifestyle that you live. So
Yeah. So
live like
we've worked out that. So then the other thing is well, there's the vetting process. You have a
yeah,
process and you vet them as best you can. Obviously some will slip through, and hopefully you get them all, but you can't. So what do? Well, you can't monitor them because technically that would be against their human rights because you don't have a warrant to you can't just monitor groups of society indiscriminately. You've got to have a reason and it's got to be an individual case by case. So you have integration officers, or you have better social services that make sure that can go round maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 months. But again, this is something that would also have to be assessed with the local authority of where these people are put. So again, it's all part about making sure that there is a proper integration policy. And then, yes, when it comes to the ones that commit crime, now, obviously, you want to talk. Obviously, I know what you're getting at. You're going to get to extremists. Extremists. Ah, I can't
yeah,
say the word. Extremism. Ah, I can't say it. Yeah, yeah.
extremists.
Extremists and
Yes.
extremists' ideals. So, um, obviously the first thing right off the bat is you need to make sure that the National Security Agency, in our case MI5, or is it MI6? I can't remember which way around it is, but MI5 or MI6, no, it's MI5, I think, does internal, basically watches inside the nation, and MI6 does outside, like the CIA. The CIA can't operate in your country, apparently. But anyway, so yeah, you monitor extremist websites, and you
Yeah.
make sure they're well funded and that they've got all the tools that they can possibly have that are legal, and that don't violate one's civil liberties. And I'm not just talking about them as I'm talking about everyone's civil liberties, society's civil liberties. Um, and then obviously you try and stop and prevent. And the other thing is something that I've heard many times, and I've also witnessed myself. In this country, we have a strategy called Prevent, and that is the British government have spent a lot of money and resources developing this agency that makes sure that Muslims report radical ideas. So, for example, if you went to a mosque and you were a Muslim and you started spouting some radical ideas, the idea is that the I can't think of the name of the person who's in charge of a mosque. It's just lot gone out of my head. I had the
That's the imam, right? The imam.
yep, imam, yeah, imam, or other people in the church admin, or even members of the church of the mosque. Sorry, are meant to report that individual to a group called Prevent, which helps. It's in the name, obviously, to prevent extremism. Um, that, from what I can tell and what I've heard time and time again from people like Sam Harris and
Yeah.
it's like a few other people that I can't think of names right now because my mind's gone,
Hitchens.
isn't being done properly. So we need to have a real discussion about that and improve that. And also people like the Labour Party leader, my party leader of the party I'm in, and the leader of the Green Party need to stop the bullshit and the lies that Prevent is racist. They promote this idea that Prevent is racist and discriminatory and everything else and Islamophobic and blah blah blah, which is a lie, and it is bullshit, and it is regressive propaganda 101. So if all of these things that I've talked about worked properly, oh, sorry, I haven't finished. So that's dealing with the one that has come radical, and obviously some will fall through, and unfortunately, it's you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst, and that's the thing. You have to plan for the worst thing. So the worst thing right now is someone slipped through all of those cracks that I've talked about and actually committed the next terrorist attack in London, Manchester, wherever it will be. Yeah. So the next terrorist attacks happen. If they're alive, then you prosecute and they go to jail. Now, this also goes to preventing it. So imagine you catch the person before they do it. My view is yes, they go to jail, obviously, and they're rehabilitated and so forth. A lot of people will turn around and say, no, they should be deported. Now, my concern with deporting these people is you are sending them back to the training camp where they will become even more radicalized and possibly commit even worse atrocities later down the line. So that's why I'm against that, them being deported, basically.
I think sending them to prison is a lot better. Because at least
Yeah,
that way,
prison's the only option. And of course, prison needs to be a punishment, but at the same time, there needs to be stronger influence on rehabilitation, especially in this country. I can tell you that.
exactly. I think that like that if the prison system is not powerful enough, these like radical terrorists can just break out of prison and just try to call up their regime to try to go after them.
Yeah. And from what I understand, now this goes from reading, right-wing blogs and right-wing news articles, because the left never talk. Anyone on the left, in my opinion, doesn't really talk about the problems in the prison system, especially when it comes to the problems with the prison system in Islam. Our prisons are pretty much breeding grounds for radical Islam.
Yeah. No, you gotta
Now,
you definitely
obviously, it's not all fucking prisons, but there is well-known prisons in this country that have problems with this. And again, this is where the closure of prisons is a fucking dumb idea because you're putting more and more people in closer and closer. You need to spread out extremists, and the reason I know this is a better idea is because all you have to do is look back in history, and I don't have to look too far back. I can just look at my childhood and I have the answers, because all I have to do, and a lot of some people anyway, you just look back to when the IRA were a problem in Britain. We did something stupid, and that was we put the loyalists with all the loyalists, and we put all the Republicans with the Republicans. And what did that cause? That caused a breeding ground for both sides. Now, obviously, I'm proud monarchist, and normally when it comes to Northern Ireland, I'm pro Northern Ireland being in the UK. But when it comes to the Troubles and all the shit that went down with the IRA and the Loyalists, no, it's not on. And obviously I blame both Republicans and Loyalists for their constant tit for tat bullshit, but I also blame the British government to a degree for some things. One thing I think the British government is at fault for was the fact that they put the Republicans and the Loyalists together. Now, I'm not saying put them to fucking together and have them well, maybe that actually might have been a better way of doing it, actually, but integrating them with non-terrorist prisoners, basically. They needed to be with a general population, I think. So then that way, the general population of the prison system, and there would be more diversity in ideas, really.
Yes. Yeah. I think that that would work more prominently.
So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the immigration and trying to words not with it. Yeah,
what
how to
a
deal
part of
with it. Yeah, so basically that's how to deal with immigration and what happens, worst case scenario, really.
yeah, that works a lot much more stronger.
So
I
yeah,
actually
man, globalism. Or
yeah
did you have a question? Did you have a question?
I wanted to ask how would it work if you were just able to just increase the security on Muslims more and then try to be more stricter to their community. Do you think that's a problem?
What do you mean more stricter? Sorry, are you talking about?
Implement implement more stronger defense up against their community. Um, well, most likely monitor them in their terrorist plots. And I mean, if they ever decide to be violent,
There is a line when it comes to it all, and it's difficult to know exactly where that line is. Especially when it comes to mass surveillance, I don't think that necessarily works. But what I would say is at the moment, the British government's policy on how to deal with online extremism is completely backwards and wrong. And personally, I feel like a lot of the laws that have been implemented in the name of combating online online extremism is a cover for political correctness and censorship.
yeah.
For example,
There's like there's a lot of backwards ideals in it.
yeah, I'm not. I personally think what should be done when it comes to social media and these companies is we need to do something similar to what we did to the banks. And for example, if you go to the bank and put in, I think more than like 7 grand in cash into a bank account, the bank let the government know. And then the bank will do an assessment and a determination of if they need to investigate you. So we take that model of the bank tells the government instead of the government making legislation and implementing rules to affect all. So basically, and this will also count into free speech as well, because that's also very important. What I think should be done when it comes to, because at the moment we've got banning and flaggings and taking downs of the content that's not seemed appropriate. Yeah. Now that could
Yeah,
be anything from an ISIS video to to someone just saying fuck Jesus. To look at the spectrum, if you know what I mean, right?
yeah,
Um, so I think needs to be done is the power of who decides this takes down is a massive civil liberties issue, in my opinion, due to the fact that say you post something on Twitter, I don't agree with it, I report you to Twitter as hate speech, and your account is shut down. You have
yeah,
been judged in absence, not being present. So you weren't present at the trial. There was no trial. There was no jury. There was no judge.
yeah,
No, that's a massive civil liberty issue. This shit needs to be done by a judge and by a jury. End of. So, what we would do is, I would report you to Twitter for your hate speech or what. Well, I don't agree with hate speech. It's bullshit. There is no such thing as hate speech. First of all, I just want to
yeah.
clarify that. But
There really.
then, and that goes for ISIS videos as well, right? So they post this shit online. You post your shit online. I report it to Twitter. Now Twitter will go, okay, thank you very much for notifying us. And all they do is they send. So what they should do is they should make an assessment of where you post from. Yeah. So they would go right from the majority of his posts, and because obviously some people have anonymous Twitter accounts and so forth, They can make these determinations of where you are, and then it's given to the local authorities of your area, and then dealt with. An investigation can be undergone, and a court case can go forward. Now, this is why I despise. This is why I despise people who use anonymity and then spout about free speech, because if you're on Twitter and your name is like me, I'm on Twitter as myself, Jay Turner, and you can tell that's me, right? I don't think that they should be shut down by anyone other than a court order, right? So a judge and me being present at my local courtroom and losing my case, obviously, to shut down my account, right? So let's just say the account is Mr. Smelly Fuckface 123. Say, for example, the authorities turn around, they go, right, they can't work out who this person is, so they should have the power. There should be a special procedure where they go to court, and a judge and a jury will make a determination on shutting down that account if all other things have failed first. So that's getting in contact with the account holder and not being able to find them out, blah blah blah. So if you can't arrest them and can't bring them in, then you get a court order to basically shut down the account because you can't determine who it is. So it's basically spam. It's a bot for all we know. Yeah, unless you come forward to defend your free speech.
I just think due to the fact that that there's just so much prison or to be jailed for what they say because they think that they have this type of entitlement just to act like a crazy piece of shit. And I think due to the system, it needs to be just basically more clear cut and more logical to say, yeah, this person needs to go to jail because they are making threats, to the community that they want to take out. They want to say, oh, they're racist, they're misogynistic, they're homophobic, blah 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 blah. No, I don't care. If you're gonna commit a crime,
yeah, well, that comes back to a whole nother thing, and that is free speech. I think it's all speech or no speech. Pick. And for me, it's free speech. So
yeah, like I definitely see where you're coming from. Like, I just don't really like the fact that when people think that they could just talk just basically talk like a crazy militant, like a rebel, and try to think that it's okay to incite violence over the internet, like for people like TYT, like for example, like would you call that free speech to say that, hey, go out and be inspired to take out cops, but just know that I don't really, really hate white people. Like, I'm just giving you the idea of why white people are terrible. So how can that be regulated within a court of law? Like, I mean, if they
I don't want TYT censored. I don't want TYT shut down, because the moment you make any form of ideology outlawed and you push it underground, it becomes more popular and more in people will join it. Basically, they flock to it because it's seen as the rebel, the outlaw, going against the popular, the society norms, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I see where a lot of people are going with it, but I mean, look, if you're just trying to commit crimes in which you're using media to to fuel your claim, then I think that's just really bad, and that needs to be taken down, because it's like, if you know that what you're saying is is highly threatening, then why would you try to have like that type of privilege to even go out and say it? Wait, what?
Right, so there's two sides to this. Because right, so first of all, you've got the ones that right. So let's take the stand that let's take a well, this ain't a hypothetical because it fucking happens all the time. So you got a lot of anti-Semites in the world. So let's go with that. So you've got someone say on YouTube making videos constantly about how people should go out and kill Jews, yeah, and it is constant every video, right? I think there should be, I don't know, I don't know, because I think it should be as, like, it's fucked up, I know, but shouldn't it be his free speech to say that he thinks that all the Jews, I know it's wrong, obviously, that to kill the Jews, that's so obvious, but mate, it's free speech, man. I don't want anything censored, because the moment you censor one thing, we censor. This is how we've got to where we are today, in my opinion, is because of all the censoring we did in the past. You know, like Germany banning anything to do with the Nazis, and you know, like well,
Everybody gets angry at censorship, and I get it. Like, you don't want to repeat history, but
yeah, and I feel that the reason we are here today with, you know, people wanting to take down the statues of fucking old white men because they might have owned a fucking slave, or they might have dealt in slave trade or whatever, or they, for example, they disagree with someone like Milo Yiannopoulos just because he's right wing, should be no platformed and blah blah blah. No, I
no,
think everyone should have the right to speak. End of. And it 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 should be the court of public opinion. And
yeah, it should be determined by public opinion, because if you are a radical person trying to, threaten people, around you, but you're so angry.
actually, no, I got a solution. Actually, it's a small solution. But what you could do is, for example, because we're talking Twitter, YouTube is the main problem where censorship is going on at the moment, right?
Yeah, where
So,
they're trying to
the
demonetize.
way to combat it, to well, not to combat it, sorry, is if YouTube dropped all their censorship and went with a court of public opinion tomorrow morning, what it should be is that every single YouTube channel cannot disable likes and comments. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
definitely, because I think that'll.
like the like to dislike ratio and comment section can never be disabled, and all comments are public. All comments. There's no spam filters. There's no nothing. That's it. Done. That's the only thing I can actually say that I would.
I think that would make sense, because it's like you got niggas that are disabling comments and disabling like this ratio to not have people speak out with their own opinions,
Well,
and then these.
yeah, it's not just that, but for example, how would you know if something is a bad idea if you can't tell what the like to dislike ratio is? I mean, obviously, forgetting the fact that, I mean, I would make my own assessment on a video I watched, obviously, but I'm not talking about me. You've got to talk about the people who would just watch it and go, yeah, that's a good idea because he has a great sounding voice. You know,
Yeah, just be like, yeah, man, just totally fine. Yeah, to make this video, but no, I'm not going to have anybody's opinion on how they think of this video. Yeah, just basically
yeah.
shit on everybody. Okay, very smart idea, but no, not just not smart. Just no, just stop. Because I.
Now, there's 2 points. Is a lot of MPs in this country, especially ones on the left, will go, oh, but I've got rape threats and I've got death threats and I've got this threat and that threat and that threat. Right? Now, yes, people say horrible shit online. But we now live in a new culture with the internet and social media. In the old days, if people were upset with their local representative or their government, there was a revolution or there was mass protests, you know. Nowadays, you basically can just send a fucking tweet saying "fuck you, you fat fucking bitch," cunt, and that's it. You've got your release. You've released your frustration of your representative or of your government. I think that especially when it comes to government ministers and whatnot, no, you don't have there is no. Well, this comes to everyone. No, yeah, free speech is free speech. When it comes to MPs and stuff, they have to put up with it. And if you don't like it, get out of being a MP. What the fuck are you doing being a member of your constituents if you can't deal with the fact that you've pissed off some of your constituents? Now, there's a difference when those threats of, oh, I'm going to smash your windows and break your fucking face, you fucking cunt, and then 2 days later someone throws a fucking brick through the constituent window. That's a threat of violence that has now escalated into violence. And yes, you should be done for that, and that's it. You're done for the crime that you've done. And we have the proof because of all the tweets that you sent. You dug your own grave when you started tweeting this shit in the first place. And that it's not used. The evidence that would be collected of your Twitter profile wouldn't be used to prove that you're guilty of a crime because it's free speech, right? But it shows your intent to commit a crime of criminal damage or assault.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense because you know, especially when you know people out of the Muslim community that want to make threats to white people, or perfect example, black people at most. You know, like if they're at a confrontation with other, you know, ignorant black people like them, they'll, you know, continue the conversation like as if this is actually going to go down after they talk. And then when they do it, they record it live on video, and then they post that shit on Facebook or whatever social media that they fuck with. And I just feel like that is the type of lunacy and fucking irresponsible government action not taken up against, you know, like to any police authority, no justice like being made except cops going in after the scene has been done to, you know, do the job, and then they're going to be, you know, shingled down as a racist because like that's basically how it goes down. And I mean, perfect example, like down in Albany, they have this advertisement called if you see something, say something.
Yeah,
And
we have a similar policy.
yeah, that's all over the black community. Not one person will ever say that because they know if they say that, they're getting blasted. They're getting blasted like the minute they,
Yeah, and
you know,
that comes down to now it is a big black thing, obviously, especially in America, but also here, and that comes down to I ain't gonna be a fucking grass man. I ain't no fucking rat. Now, fuck you. If you don't have the fucking balls to stand up and speak out for what you fucking believe in, fuck off.
yeah, just being like a fucking pussy. And I think it just comes to show like, you know, for some black people that don't want to heal their community, or you know, this doesn't have to just go with a specific race. If you're just ignorant and you're too afraid to see changes, then why the fuck are you even living there? What's your point of trying to make changes to your own hometown when you know that you're only doing this up against your own self-interest, and you just want things to just be there because you're not trying to inspire others to get out of their, you know, ignorant beliefs to change up a society, you know, from third class, you know, to a first class. And I also wanted to say like out of like how many black people act like the same way versus, you know, American black people that actually take that shit to the really, like take that shit to the most violent, you know, situation to start, I don't know, blasting at people.
Mate, a lot. You can get shanked for just disagreeing with people.
Disagreeing, how bad is disagreeing? Like, is this over drugs, or this is over somebody's bitch.
Mate, you could get shanked for anything. Well, it depends on where you fucking go, obviously, in this country or in this city, should I fucking say. But put it this way, I wouldn't recommend you go walking around in an atheist hoodie in say Eastern. I should fucking do that. That would be a hell of a fucking video. Just roll through Eastern.
Do that, and
Fucking shit.
you should probably come armed. You should probably
Yeah,
have
and
something. Have
oh yeah,
something on
shit
you.
would kick off, mate. I can guarantee you, shit would kick off. Right.
Be like, yo, no, they'd be like, yo, nigga, like take that fucking shirt off, you bitch. I'd be like, wait, do they even say that out there? Probably not. They'd be like, yo, what's up, you little white cracker-mite? Bitch ass pussy.
Mate,
A bunch of
it ain't the blacks I'm worried about that gonna shank me when I'm wearing my atheist hoodie. Is it? Fuck, mate.
Wait, so who gets more highly offended, blacks or whites?
Nah, mate, it's the Muslims that the problem when it comes to wearing an atheist top.
I was thinking they got
Like
more angry.
I know more people who wear a cross who are atheist because they don't want to wear something that promotes that they're atheist, because they'll feel it's more that they will something bad will happen to them, basically. Like they can go
Yes.
around wearing a cross, and because it's going against the Islam, basically, and they will wear a cross because they're against that. But
Yeah,
it's
just to fuck around with them.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're what we I suppose they're the old school atheists, really, where old school atheists would be told by the religious to shut up and keep your ideas to yourself, and they would just say okay and walk away or not say anything. Where nowadays we're like new atheists, are like, fuck you, you fuck off with your fucking bullshit ideas.
Well, I do want to say that there is a split of atheists. Like, there's ones that are really proud for who they are. They just know that they're a human being, and then they understand how Earth should be, and then they want to promote themselves. But then the ones that are like Devin says, like the 1.0s, those ones, nah, fuck them. Like, people like Arm Skeptic, or who, like Computing Forever, right? Like that faggot.
So yeah,
Um, Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or even Sargon. Like, I could even tell Sargon if I was living in Britain, like, I'd be like, dude, my nigga, like, why the fuck are you acting like a pussy out here? You say that you care about issues, but you never actually go out and do it. And I would literally tell him in front of his face, like, dude, I go out and tell people how much I don't like their beliefs and how bullshit and fucking infringed they are. And then it's like, if you're that big of a YouTuber, then that shouldn't be making you feel scared if you're doing it out in public, because you're a human being, you have a voice, you're not just some controlled bot. And that's basically what Sargon has become. Like, I can't even countermeasure how many whatchamacallit, how many like Americans, even over here, that actually support him. And these are mostly coming from like Infowars, all these other trashy left, right wing, far medias that are just fucking just ridiculous. Like, they can't even give out like a good reason why they like him, and they just keep bullshitting. Like, I can't even hear them. Like, they just say one thing about Sargon, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I could say the same thing about Alex Jones, and then they would probably get more pissed off about him.
I know what you're saying there. I know, yeah.
Like, how much do you know that I'm saying?
Well, I was just thinking, I know some people who get pissy when I start dishing on fucking Infowars.
Wait, people in Britain actually like him?
Yeah, mate. And do you know what the thing is? Yeah, is I can't tell if it's more right wingers or left wingers that I know that like Infowars.
I want to say left wingers.
I
Most likely.
think it actually might be there's more left wingers that like Infowars more, which is even more fucked up.
Dude, they say that they like wow, they say that they are a liberal, but when you promote yourself as a right winger, you are not a fucking liberal. And this is why I have literally hated politics ever since growing up, because after I voted for Obama, I got the same amount of hate, well, like just bullshit hate comments from people telling me, "Oh, you voted for Obama? Oh, that nigger is just such a piece of shit because you can't even live your life right, with him." And then after he leaves, every motherfucker that I know that mostly like Trump were left. Yeah, they used to be left wingers, and then they just switched to being right wing. So I'm just like, okay, so technically liberals just helped Trump win because he basically got all this money from the church and all these other big fat ass rich people that chimed in
Mate,
all that money.
I know so many liberals in this country who, when Bernie lost, were like,
Yes.
right, I'm voting Trump. Like,
Wow.
the fucked up thing is I can't believe how many people I know that literally wouldn't vote Hillary, but yet went to a anti-Trump protest here in Bristol.
That's what I'm saying. You guys knew what the fuck was wrong with Trump. So, maybe with Hillary, you might find something in a lot more promising because at least with her, she was actually doing most of the issues in which this is where when I actually listened to Devin's perspective when I was thinking about, okay, yeah, am I right with Bernie or is he right with Hillary? And I mean, Devin, he was right on both of them. He said, hey, look, if Bernie actually won the Democratic election than Hillary, then he still would have voted for Bernie because he wouldn't have had Trump in office anyway because he just knew Hillary was more intellectually honest. And actually, let me ask you something. What was the whole thing about her being a world class liar or something like that? Because I knew the whole thing about the emails, but those emails were not her issue. That was actually all done by the government, right? Correct.
Mate, I don't see a fucking single problem with her emails. Like, first of all, let's just get it out of the way. Pizzagate, fuck off. That's bullshit. It's all lies, all propaganda spouted by fucking nutcase, nutcase right wingers, which also got believed by a shit ton of left wingers as well.
Yep, I heard about that too.
The second thing is, yeah, when we talk about fucking politics, people with money, and with power of industry and infrastructure or massive corporations, yeah, they get a little bit of privilege of being able to talk to these people a bit more directly. But if you got involved in the democratic process, so would you, because I bet you I have spent more time in the last year with my local representative than anybody at any other person, more than anyone in in my constituents.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean,
That's just by going to my monthly meetings. I email if there's something I think that I want her opinion on, or I think that she should know on, like a bill that's coming up. I email her. I tell her, look, I don't agree with this, or I agree with this, and you should vote for this, because at the end of the day, she can't vote on shit if she doesn't know what her constituents feel our opinions are, and B, she can't make a decision on which way she's going to vote without knowing what all her constituents do. So, do you see where I'm going with? The democracy only really works when you get involved, and when you're involved, they don't care about the big companies once they're elected, if that makes sense. Like, they'll do some stuff, but most of the time it's, hang on, I need to get re-elected. These big companies might help me financially, but they ain't going to get me the votes.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not about the money; it's about people. You just need people to vote for you. And
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the numbers, Trump was financially negative on promoting the advertisements, mostly up against Hillary to have people vote for him, and his stance on getting people's votes
Oh yeah, that's because Trump had a fucking monopoly on Fox News. Basically, and that is because that is not. I don't totally blame the media for it. I do in a way, and I don't in another, due to the fact of where Trump came from. Trump came from the position of, if I want to talk about something on the news, I can ring him up and fucking tell him live on TV.
Yeah.
I personally didn't see that him stopping doing that. I mean, I'm surprised he has as much as he has now, but it's a bit different now. He's president. During the election campaign, I assume he recognized that very quickly, that he could just keep ringing up Fox and Friends and shit and be like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, he just called them up, and then they were able to promote everything, under him. And I mean, he didn't help him win the election. He put so much money onto the electoral college, and actually when I looked up on those numbers, of like elite, so those Trumpers, it wasn't coming from Hillary. So most of them voted legally on Hillary's side, and I was just like, okay, well, who actually really voted like illegally? And people wanted to go right wing, but then these people, so they like people.
Dude, your signal keeps cutting in and out like really badly at the moment. What's going on?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you okay now.
Oh, what? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's like really echoey and crackly.
I don't know. Like I'm using like my phone.
That's a bit better. Yep, it's just gone again. It keeps like coming and going. It's like you're really, really close and then really far away.
Yeah, like I have like my phone closer to my like to myself.
Yeah, that's better.
That's what I was saying. I think that when Hillary talked about having like a recount on the election, it actually made sense because there was a lot of secret, agreements going between Trump administration and obviously Russia, because Putin really wanted Trump to win so he could try to, actually take control of America. Because I think in my honest opinion, like he was doing that because he wanted Trump to, get his trust, and then he could just try to backstab him once he gets like the opportunity.
I think Trump's gonna just backstab at everyone he thinks.
Yeah, of course. Like, well, actually, like Kim Jong-un was saying in a recent news article that Earth will be a desert or some shit like that. Like he was trying to he was trying to say that he basically Trump is going to turn everything into like a desert, and everything's just going to turn into like a fucking nuclear war zone. Which I don't really see it happening unless countries like China and Russia want to go up against us. But I mean, I really don't give a fuck about Russia. They're just a bunch of.
There's never gonna the chances of fucking Third World War are ridiculous. There is no chance of it happening, because there is no way if I'm honest, in my opinion, Russia is controlled by two groups: Putin's fucking group and the oligarchs. But do you want to know how you get rid of Putin? You bring the oligarchs onto your side. And that's, in my opinion, is something that is slowly happening at the moment in Russia. I think it might take a long time until Putin's gone, but that's the only way it can happen. You get the oligarchs on the side, and they already are, because they love capitalism. There is no way Russia would endorse socialism and communism again.
Yeah. Don't have all that socialism bullshit come in as a full control. You definitely need capitalism. That is a must. But my only issue is that why can't they just like either impeach him, or if he's that dangerous, just kill his ass?
Well, we're not going to get near fucking Putin. Putin's in control of Russia. We're not going to be able to like send the CIA in to fucking make Putin go bye-bye.
Be like, hey,
And also, you've got the other problem of who would replace Putin in Putin's gang, because Putin's gang owns the fucking Kremlin and owns Russia. So what you need to do is you need to persuade the people above Putin. So basically, you need to persuade the oligarchs, which are the fucking super wealthiest in Russia, to back a different side.
Yeah, most likely, and I'd say that makes a lot much more comparable promises, because at least that way you're peacefully trying to rechange your nation or fix up your nation like that, and that would make a lot much better process rather than trying to go out and kill somebody. It's just like a waste of time. And then actually, even if Putin actually realized that somebody was trying to kill him or a group of people, he'll use that as his potential evidence to go forward. I wouldn't want to try it now that I actually got deep into it. But I don't know, like just by looking at what he's doing, it just seems like he gets dumber and dumber every time when he talks, and he's just not fit. He's just like Trump in a way. Very cunning, but he can really do some damage. I was actually going to ask you, what's the deal with that one guy that Esme said he's just like Bernie Sanders, but he cares out for the SJWs?
He is the leader of the Labour Party.
Labour Party? What the fuck?
Yeah, he's the leader of the party that I'm in.
We'll put that motherfucker in jail.
We can't. He hasn't done anything wrong.
Why not? Like, why can't we just put anybody in jail, dude?
Because, dude, no.
Well, hey, look, nigga, look. You said that you were in favor of constitutional monarchy. Everybody got to get up on their fucking knees and then do your dues for that queen. If you're not doing it, then...
Mate, yeah. Like there is Queen and country, my friend, but there is democracy and civil liberties and freedoms and shit that comes way first. I feel that the whole system is run better through a constitutional monarchy than it is through a republican model. But that doesn't mean we can fucking throw people in prison as we feel like, or we're no better than the fucking commies and the fucking fascists.
Well, wouldn't that turn you into a fascist because you're actually jailing people out of your own opinions that you're selectively choosing, and you just don't want to hear other people's thoughts? Or did I get it wrong?
Shit. I'm against that.
Yeah, well,
I don't like.
That's what fascism does, right? That fascism promotes censorship, right?
Well, I mean, technically, the Soviets brought censorship to the world, but yeah, well, no, I mean, technically, I suppose what the Nazis also did was censorship, because they they set fire to the Reichstag, so they wouldn't have to listen to debates and the opposition parties. This was before they got rid of the opposition parties, but yeah.
They also took down Kristallnacht too. They did Night of the Broken Glass at that Jewish synagogue, where they tried they were at the start of murdering them. Just fucking assholes, but okay. Actually, I think this guy would be a really good debate to have with. He has like about I want to say up to 6,000 subs or 2,000, but his name is a Democratic Socialist. Basically, this guy, he makes a lot of videos up against anybody capitalist and everything. I want to say he's a communist. I really do want to say. If you just type it in on YouTube, this guy, he supports Fidel Castro.
Oh, fucking hell. We got problems.
Yeah. This guy made a response to somebody. He actually made a response to Anarchy Ball, of how Anarchy Ball was trying to say that the Nazis were not pro-capitalist, and they were. And he tried to make proof of evidence for that. And I don't know, like, to your honest opinion, do you think that they were pro-capitalist?
No fucking clue. Like, I don't even think that the Nazi Party even had a need for currency, really.
Yeah, they just focused more on war. They didn't really care. And then again, they forced out the German people to barter, right? To barter for their profit.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'd have to look into it because I really. Do you know something? That's one thing I've never really looked into is the financials of the Nazis.
The Nazis.
The Nazis.
Nazis have killed more than commies, right? They actually.
No. No. I think commies have killed more people than. Yeah, I think communists have killed more people than the Nazis ever did. I mean,
Well,
or
after the Holocaust, that was about 6 million Jews, and then along with killing people out in Africa and what Africa, and didn't they strike in Asia? Probably not, but I think yeah, you are right, because Stalin, he did order more, like military suppression against his own people. So yeah, I would say communism has killed more, because it actually killed more than like 100 million people as it got stronger in countries like China, and then Cuba, then North Korea as well.
yeah.
Dude, those fucking communists are like the Nazis, twin brother. Damn. And actually, like that one communist friend that I talked with a few weeks ago, didn't he say that a successful communist economy would be a balanced government and people actually are treated with the respectable rights?
Sorry, say that again.
He said, basically, for a well-balanced communist economy, doesn't it need to have a balanced set of equal rights for the respectable, citizens to operate better, right?
Uh, uh, Communism doesn't work. And I don't fucking know of any fucking human rights inside a communist state, ever.
Afghanistan?
Is it fuck?
Afghanistan, I don't know how they're so communist, but then they still use Islam.
Why,
So,
babe? Why?
Gay.
Yes, very gay.
Yeah. And thought you might need a bit of
Uh,
gay in your day.
No, I
wait, is
don't
that
need a bit of gay in my day.
You need a bit of gay in all of your days.
your girlfriend? Oh, wait,
Yeah,
what?
she's taking a piss. She's sending me like Game of Thrones memes with like Khal
Oh,
Drogo bumming
fuck no.
Jon Snow. Game of Thrones is back tomorrow.
Oh, wait, do you like that one show called Into the Badlands? I love that show.
I've seen a couple of episodes. I haven't checked it out lately. I've just been so busy.
Oh, we should make YouTube videos of us watching that. Be like, oh, fuck. No, I like Sunny, and I like MK.
I'm enjoying a show at the moment called Zoo.
What the fuck is Zoo?
Basically, there's like an animal. There's a gene that's been mutated in animals, and they no longer kill each other. All the animals have united, and they're trying to kill humanity.
Oh yeah. I think I heard something about that.
It's pretty interesting.
Actually, you know what? I would actually respect it if it was in the form of an alien, and then I could just get your reaction on YouTube to see now, look, if aliens were real like this, that would be perfectly awesome, and I would have just, that would be some major beef. I could just, just like, just try to fantasize between you and me. I could be like, okay, well, Jay, this isn't something that I truly support, but fuck aliens and fuck their race. And then Jay would be like, K-Rod, or Mike, you need to know, aliens are fucking real. They have fucking evidence all over. Look at the size of their alien penis.
Oh shit.
I don't know how much dick that you can have to fit inside the butthole of a human, but if the alien wants to fuck with us, then I don't know how they're gonna fuck with us on Earth, because that's all I'm trying to ask. Like, how are they going to survive our air? Don't they need their own air? I don't think having half human breeded genetics would work with them because they would probably automatically die after they
Well,
fucked somebody.
we don't know. I mean, if it's carbon-based life form that requires CO2, there's a good chance they'll breathe what we breathe. But you know, they could end up breathing like a higher gas level or carbon level. There could be all sorts, but just because they can't breathe our atmosphere doesn't mean A, we can't communicate, and B, we can't overcome those situations.
Well, why can't we just go to war with them? Fuck them.
What? Whoa! We don't need to starting a fucking war with an alien race, hypothetical alien race that could be possibly thousands of years advanced of us technologically.
I mean, personally, I would never really fight any other unknown life form, but I would try to make peace with them before, you know, anything happens. Like I just go by my own reality. As of now, the only life form I could actually call a life form is humans, and then animals. That's it. And that's how I see it. Like, you know, I want to
What are
see
you
the.
chatting, mate? That is so. Oh my god, I'm gonna use a fucking SJW word, aren't I? It's not transphobic as no, not transphobic. That's the wrong one. There's a word for it. Species phobic. I can't. Yeah, it is in a way species phobic because
Phobic? I'm life form phobic?
just because we class them as, you know, humanity, and because we're talking about intelligence and
Yeah, because, you know,
well,
animals.
not just intelligence, sorry, but if we came across another intelligent life, they would clearly be more advanced than us. So it's quite possible that they would not take any notice of us because they would see us as ants.
Well, yeah, well, if they are stronger than us, they can decide to kill us. But as of now, we don't see them. We don't know where the fuck they are. And I mean, you know, this is when I had my argument with my coworker at work. But I told her, look, if you're going to tell me that they're going to be invisible, kind of like what God can be, then that is the worst evidence of that I could hear for an alien being here. Because if I had sensed a alien inside my house, then no, I would like to know where the fuck is this thing coming from, and how long has it been here? And I mean, you know, dude, just like look it up on YouTube. Like, there's people that literally fake out aliens. Like I'm not
Oh, I
even
know. I've
kidding.
seen them all.
And I mean, like, take a look at Area 51. I totally disagree with that whole case of saying like aliens were here. Get the fuck out of here. Let the government literally stage that whole thing to make it seem like the aliens were here. They tried covering it up for the past 50 to 60 years, and then now you still carry that over into 2017 because you classified the information of not letting people know of who had died as a human victim. If you're gonna do that, then you might as well say that Tupac can kind of can come back to life because aliens have the ability to bring people back to life. Like, we don't know what they are.
Whoa. How do we know that they don't have the technology to do that?
Well,
Yeah, boy. What you saying now, fool?
nah, nigga. Look. I
Nah,
don't.
I'm for real, man. I'm for real, nigga. I'm for real, nigga.
Hey, nigga, look. Yo, bring your ass out here to New York State and bring that fried chicken and Kool-Aid with you, boy. But you know, look, if we are gonna go out on a nightly walking trip from, like, I don't know, from Albany to Troy. Oh no, not Troy. Troy's Matterport. But if we're like walking out, having a good time, and then we somehow see a unknown life form that is coming after us, we don't know what the fuck it is, but we managed to fight it off. Wouldn't that?
Whoa. How do we know it's coming after us? I'm just going to stand there, wave, and be like, hello, do you understand me?
But why not report it to the government? The government should be in their own legal responsibility to defend humans up against any inalienable
Whoa. How do we know that they're even aggressive in the
Yeah,
first point? So
that's
they would have had to have got past all the defenses and even detection. So they're on the planet. Yeah, there's an alien in front of us right now as we're walking down the street, right? So that means it's already got past the government and everything else, the Air Force, the government, the CIA, the lot. Everyone did not see this alien land on our fucking planet. So
they can have some sort of ship to be on standby. But I mean, if you see it right then and there, I would have like the whole government right there. Like I don't want to keep this thing, or we managed to actually converse with it, and then it taught us a lot of things that we didn't know. But I mean, personally, I don't want to have a whole army of their little homies coming after us, and then we have to be at war with them because they are just trying to understand. Oh, well, these are
well,
humans, so maybe
we're
we could
talking
try.
about first contact now, mate. We're talking about first contact, and first contact would be vital that it doesn't turn violent. And to be honest with you, I highly doubt that first contact would turn violent. If it did turn violent, it would be our own fucking fault by some idiot shooting a fucking gun at them.
Yeah, and then that would make them go into the like aggressive because you have now started a war with one of our own, and
Well, then again, they might just look at it as like a pinball gun or something and be like laugh at us. So
they could just slow down. They could just use a alien ability that we don't know, and
yeah,
they could just disintegrate that bullet as it's coming after it. But I mean, by talking like that, that sounds so magical that could be something in which like, oh well, let's just say hypothetically God was real. If everything out of the Bible and the Quran came to life, that would be so crazy when we fight a alien, because that would just mean that we could just have God versus aliens, and that would just be like the craziest war out of all human, fantasy mankind. But I mean, think of it like that as we're trying to understand what aliens do. Like, the possibilities, they're endless, but the evidence needs to be shown. And I did like agree with Esme on this. If they were to be here, they need to have some sort of like human like integration to speak with us. And I think like, if they were able to talk like a human, I would be shocked. Like if they were able to
mate.
understand.
Nah, I don't see why you would be shocked because we're talking about a civilization that has managed to not only leave their own fucking planet, not only leave their own solar system, but travel in into solar travel basically across the Milky Way galaxy, and possibly come from even further away. So learning English isn't going to be a fucking problem. I reckon learning English would take them all of a second.
Yeah, kind of like a Men in Black, where that alien just like learns like everything out of what like Will Smith said.
Yeah,
And I mean,
exactly. It'd just be like,
I don't,
what
I
the
don't,
fuck? Oh yeah, I speak English now. Thank you.
I don't, I don't blame aliens, hypothetically in a scientific way, to think, you know, I say 100,000 times faster than a human, and then somehow out of the blue, um, I could be given a type of intelligence upgrade from the alien because I have learned, from what they have, counteracted with me. And I mean, like here's like a really bullshit argument, which I don't want to see this happening, but what if a alien decided to mate with a human? How would this work? How would life counteract with them, or counteract with Earth?
Well,
Um,
we can't answer that question until we know the biology of the alien, and again, they're the advanced species in this one, so surely they would know of how to get around that problem.
okay, well,
Like,
can't we?
if a species has made it all the way to our own fucking planet, I'm pretty sure they can work out how to fucking bang us.
Okay, well, can't that just be a little bit easier of not having children with them, and then we could just have
Why
like a
not, mate? I want to go to space and I want to bang all the bitches in the known universe.
Why
I
would
love
you
you,
want to
babe.
bang? Why would you
I
want
love you
to?
lots,
Love
by
you
the way.
too. You have fun with your tentacles.
Cheers, babe. She told me to go have fun with tentacles.
Wow, damn, like nigga, like you really trying to diss out like your girlfriend? Come on, bruh. You can't
Yeah,
diss.
should be there with me, fucking all these alien bitches.
I wouldn't. I'm not in space. You can be.
Have a gay guy, a lesbian, and then become bisexual. You're gonna become like,
Well, I said no homo, dude. No one said anything about no homo.
oh,
Who says they're going to be male and female?
well, would you?
Whoa, Hannah's brought up a gender. She's talking gender.
They might all be transsexual.
Well, yeah. They might all be like seahorses. Is it seahorses that self? No, jellyfish, where they all self hermaphrodite. Yeah.
Oh, I was just
So-
gonna say, like, what if the
Or there could be more genders.
okay, what happens if the unknown alien was able to switch genders? Oh, would you have a problem with that?
No, why why would there be a problem? I don't see why is there these problems, dude?
Jay, because all the opportunities that you could say out of the alien could be the most like illustrious, craziest ideals that the unknown species that are highly advanced than humans can work around with. And I mean personally, like I'm not against the idea of knowing that there could be another life form out there, but like as far as like the logic of what humans have created in a smart way, not a stupid, tribalistic way, that is just so much, discovery that we have to see. And as of now, like we're just only going through our lives on Earth and just counteracting with animals at any given cost. And I mean, I don't understand how like the lifestyle of an alien can just work so well with a human. Because what, like, are you saying that they can now, like, they could have all the abilities to eat, drink, go to school, learn how to make something quicker than us, produce better resources for the Earth, or even
Yes, and if an alien society, alien species makes it to fucking Earth, of course they can do anything and everything a billion times better than us. And trust me, mate, there is none of them aliens going to any fucking school on Earth unless they built it for themselves. Because I bet you, I can guarantee you 100 fucking percent, we don't have shit to teach them, and
well,
because they are the ones who fucking came here.
okay, well, if you taught them like American history, they'd probably be like, yeah,
Mate,
you guys.
they all right, okay, so learning the names of some bunch of old white guys that they've never fucking met. Big whoop, mate. Because they will probably have in their own history their own form of, the creation of republicanism and monarchies and all this shit. The chances of them not having it are remote, because we're talking about a society that made it to our planet. So they're not just going to be a society that fucking came into creation 60,000 years ago. There's a good chance this alien race could have been living for millennia. So
Well,
imagine what their history will have in it:
I'd like to.
empires and crusades and
I would like to see.
genocides.
I would like to see them, disavow religion and tell all the religious people that have believed in them for years, and then have them come into counteraction to be eliminated, and then
Oh,
the
mate,
aliens can.
there is a very good chance that if aliens landed on this planet, religion would be dead within 10 years. There has been some interesting surveys that I will dig out, which basically document religious groups who would drop their religion if aliens landed.
They probably would drop their religion if they first were just discovered, like just on day one. Like they would literally bow down to them just like God and be like, "Oh, you guys are real. God bless the heavens." And then like the aliens just be like, "No, we were just created out of our own way. Like, don't respect us. Like, we're just here to see what Earth is like, and we'll grant you peace with us as long as you don't hurt us." And I think if they were like like okay, let me just be on your side on this one for now. But if they were able to constitute and tell all the humans of how they got here, and what they want to see out of our future, then I would say, the world would actually be 10 times better. Like, they could be a part of our, race. They can, counteract with us. They can teach us things that we don't know. Like, they could tell us, like, yeah, we have been seeing you guys for X amount of years, and we want to import our ideas because we feel like that you guys are smart enough to carry these ideas. And
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt. By the way, I'm Darth Dawkins.
Oh, hello.
I
I didn't
have
even
a
realize that you'd
yeah,
someone had joined.
I have a live hangout right now, and I have a number of people watching. I would prefer my hangout, just so I can prevent stalkers and trolls that follow me around. Would you mind
Hey.
joining my hangout?
I'm all up for stalkers and trolls.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I have a lot of them, so I prefer if you could join my hangout. You'll be given absolutely equal time and equitable treatment.
All right, yeah, fuck it. Okay, so we'll go to yours in the.
Yeah,
I
and
see it.
if any moment you feel that you're not being treated equitably, I'll stop and just let you talk. Okay.
No worries.
All right. There's the link to the hangout. I think we probably have more viewers on mine.
All right, I'm on my way. I'll end this now, and we'll see you in a
And do you
minute.
want me to call you Jay, or do you want me to call you under the name?
Mate, I don't do anonymity. I go by my real shit.
Okay, so so you don't want me to call you Atheist Coder Stallion?
Oh no, that's K-Bod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yep, that's me, Kierna.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't you join that link, and then we have 2 other people in there, and then.
All right, I got to end this, and then that'll be over.
We have
So I'm
about
gonna
10
end this.
viewers. Okay. Cool.
Okay.